Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's see if I can get some people in here. You'll put out the call. There you are. You're finding it. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Catherine. So good to see you in here. Let's call in the rest of the gang. All right, so let's do that with our heart. Heart brain coherence. Hand on your heart. Smile on your face. And I am loved. I am enough. I am amazing. Miracles happen to me every day. Opportunities show up everywhere. I am happy. I am peace. I am love. What's your affirmation this morning? What are you saying to yourself and to the world? Let's get that flowing and get our family in here. I don't know where everybody's at, but maybe they're sleeping in this morning. I wish I could. It would have been great to stay under those covers. Gonna sit. Behave. It would have been really good to stay in bed this morning because it just felt so good to sleep. But I needed to be here. And my soul doesn't do good if I don't have the connection in the morning that we have. Good morning, Deirdre. Day 110 of those affirmations. And yes, yes, yes. It's the first thing to do when you wake up. That way you don't forget. Good morning, Susan Flo. Hello, hello, everybody. And you are enough. You are worthy. It's Saturday. The weekend's here. What are you going to do with this beautiful weekend day? Do you have any plans? Do you have something special that you're doing this weekend? Your cousin Paula is there. That's so awesome, Kathy. And they're sleeping in. Well, it's probably one of those mornings that you're just like, I don't even want to get out of this bed, right? Good morning, Julie Kiss. All right. Well, the angels do have a message for us today. And the message is called Some Stars Are Still Learning to Shine. I love this message. Leo, hi, darling. There's a shining star. All right. Not everyone's going to believe, and that's okay. They'll get there when they get there. That's a quote from a wonderful movie that I watched last night called Miracles from Heaven. And it's based on a true story about a little girl who had a near-death experience. And that was what she said to her mom. after she came back from that near-death experience. I'm going to say it again. Not everyone's going to believe, and that's okay. They'll get there when they get there. Many times in life, we are misunderstood. When we awaken to deeper truths, when we feel the stirrings of divine purpose, when our path lights up with signs and serendipities, it's only natural to want to share it. Let's see, I made a typo, so let me just correct that while I'm reading it. We want others to see what we see, to feel the beauty and the peace that has blossomed in our hearts. But not everyone will, and that's okay. We are each walking our own sacred timeline. Some journeys twist and turn through valleys of doubt. Some are forged in fire, some carved in silence. Some souls sprint toward awakening, while others pause to gather the lessons strewn along the way. Belief cannot be forced, nor can truth be rushed. So when someone questions your journey or dismisses your light, don't let your spirit dim. You're not here to convince the world. You're here to be the light in it. Trust that those who are meant to see will see when their time comes. Every soul unfolds in divine timing, like petals gently coaxed open by the morning sun. Dear angels, how do we remain compassionate and patient with those who doubt our journey without taking their disbelief personally? Dear ones, your path is not for proving, it is for walking with grace. When others cannot see what you see, it is not a reflection of your inadequacy, but of their current horizon. You are a lighthouse, not a searchlight. Shine and let others find their way in their own time. Release the need for validation and replace it with sacred compassion. Understand that every soul is waking up in their own rhythm, and some are still rubbing the sleep from their eyes. Do not rush them, for divine wisdom whispers softly, and each heart must choose when to listen. Remember that your only task is to love, not to convince. The angels whisper, walk your path, walk your truth, dear one. The seeds you plant with your light will bloom when the season is right. Angels, today I promise to stay focused on my path. I really love this message, and I love that angel whisper. The seeds you plant with your light will bloom when the season is right. Are you all familiar with the Christmas cactus that blooms at Christmas time? Well, I've had many of them in my lifetime, and they don't just bloom at Christmas time when they're supposed to. Most of them do bloom around that time, but they also bloom throughout the year. Some of them bloom at Easter. Some bloom over the holiday season. So everything in its own time. Whenever it's supposed to open up, when those petals open up to the sun, that's when it will happen. And we can't rush divine time. And divine time is never late. So if we think it's supposed to have happened already, did I miss it? Did it happen and I didn't see it? No, it's just waiting for that perfect instant, that holy instant to shine and for you to see the beauty of it and the perfection in the miracle. Good morning, Joanne. Oh, thank you, Leo. Yeah, I do love that message. And, each of us we open up in our own time. That movie that I watched was so touching and so beautiful. And it was a real testament to having faith and trusting that everything is working perfectly. And the little girl in the movie had some type of physical illness that they just couldn't figure out how to cure. I won't give away the whole story, but if you want to watch it, it is so beautiful and so touching. And I think you'll be inspired by the whole message of it. And like I said, it's based on a true story, true happenings. Deirdre, love being a human lighthouse. Indeed, you are. And I had a Christmas cactus once given to me by Diane Beiersdorfer a few years ago. It bloomed like nothing else. I tried to grow it here. Yeah, they're interesting because I've seen them everywhere I've been across the country. They bloom no matter what their environment. You know, they don't like a lot of water. I do know that. You can drown them. They are cactus, by the way. But yeah, they're just an interesting little plant, aren't they? My brother has one that was started from a Christmas cactus that my mom had. And it's still very prolific. It's huge and it blossoms a lot. And he named it after my mom. So, and he talks to it. So it's very interesting to go to his house and see the Christmas cactus that's there. The movie is called Miracles from Heaven. Miracles from Heaven. And it's really a beautiful movie and very well done. Oh, Susan says, I love that message. I trust that everything works out at divine timing. And like I said, we can't rush it. But so many times we try to rush it, don't we? We try to micromanage everything and have our little lasso around their desires. All right, maybe it didn't freeze for too long because it looks like it's back. And Hope Wellington Marshall, you're watching us, and so is Dixie Cunningham. Awesome. All right, let me give it just a minute to make sure it's coming back. It is. Okay. Kathy says, my brother has one that came from my mom's house too. It's huge and thriving. Isn't it amazing? No matter what the size, they can be like tiny little ones, or they just can expand out and grow to this big, monstrous plant. But they're so beautiful and they're so steady, I guess is the word. You know, they're a very hardy plant. It's hard to kill a Christmas cactus unless you really drown it, I guess. Then it wouldn't survive very much. All right, Kuan Yin's message is the brightness of your future. Listen to your discontent, your yearning. You want something true. You should not just be quiet and get back to your day job or how things have been, as if you are making a drama out of nothing. You are meant to be moved by these feelings, to become more alive. Trust in the brightness of what is meant to be. The brightness of your future. So many times when we're caught up in life's dramas and traumas, those fires that we go through, it's hard to even think that there might be a future for us, right? We go into that spiral, that downward rabbit hole, and we start to think, is this ever going to end? Is this ever going to be over? Or is it going to be this way forever? I remember when we were going through the pandemic, when we first got together, and nobody knew how long that would last. We didn't know if we'd ever have the opportunity to be out around each other again, and what was going to happen in the world, because it was worldwide. And when we are going through our own little pandemic, whatever's happening to us in our life, it's the same thing. We wonder, how will I be on the other side of this? And I actually wrote that. I was keeping a diary during that time back in 2020. Kathy, I know you were as well. I don't know if others had written out anything during that time, but I know in my diary that I wrote, I asked that question and I made a statement. I want to remember this time. I want to remember these doubts and these questions and the unknown, because that's really what it was. We were facing the unknown, and we were saying, I think all of us were saying, what the heck? What is this? Because we seriously did not know what we were looking at. And so when we're going through our own personal fires, sometimes we don't know what we're looking at. We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know if we're going to get to the other side. I mean, we can certainly keep the faith and trust and believe, but there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that tomorrow will come and I won't be here, or some of our other family members. But the thing is to just keep on keeping on with the moments that we have. Stay present in each moment. And I think that was a big lesson during that time, to really stay present and to know that in the very moment we were in, we were still alive, we were still okay, and just keep going. We had to blindly go because there were so many questions and no answers. Kathy, you killed your Christmas cactus. No, say it's not true. Good morning, Kathleen Caputo. And Kathy, you're having better luck with the orchids. You know, Ruth taught me how to keep orchids from dying. And she has so many orchids. I don't even know how many orchids that woman has, but she has a magic touch with them, and she's figured out the secret. I can have some success now that she's told me how to deal with them, but not always. There's still some that unfortunately fell at my hands. They were in peril, but not all. There are some that thrived. Kathy says, no, I read that, sorry. Deirdre says, I did too after a while. Okay. You did keep a journal, maybe? I'm not sure what that was in response to. Hello, Susie Koff. Thank you for being with us this morning. And Deirdre says, we didn't know if we'd ever hug again. What a horrible thought. We didn't know if we'd ever be able to touch another human. Remember? We were told to not even breathe on each other. Remember the 6-foot rule? We had to stay that far apart from each other. Good morning, Linda Lemieux. Anyway, the whole message is about trust. And I know we sometimes grimace when that word comes up about trusting and believing and having faith. But that is a huge lesson for so many of us in this lifetime. For so many, we came here saying, all right, we're going to understand this, right? Because we go lifetime after lifetime after lifetime and we don't understand. And we leave our physical existence still not understanding and not getting it. So for so many of us, especially the light workers, we know that in this lifetime we've committed to understanding more fully what trust is all about. Good morning, Linda Lemieux, and good morning, Andrea Gregg. And Deirdre, you killed your cactus too. I have killed some of them. Yeah, in the past, I just really had a difficult time with any plant. And then I got a little wiser and I understood more about the energy of plants. They're all energy. And if we talk to them, that is a real thing to communicate with every living thing, even the rocks, the crystals, the water, plants, even grass. Just talk to it and watch how it responds to what you're saying, especially if you're saying good stuff, right? If you're being grateful and thanking whatever that is. I love to go up and thank a tree because I can feel its energy when I do that. I can feel it responding because they don't hear that very often. There was one day I was having dinner with a friend of mine, and we were eating outside at this restaurant. And this kid was with his dad, and he walks over to the tree and just starts pounding on the tree. I can't remember what he was hitting it with, but he was just beating this tree up. And his dad wasn't even paying any attention. And I'm sitting there and I didn't say anything to him, but I just kept sending energy to the tree. And I kept sending an energy of calmness. And I know there's not always going to be a human around to do that when somebody's abusing a plant or a tree or water or our earth. We disrespect our earth and dishonor it a lot, don't we? So we can do our part. We can do more than our part. I have a friend in Florida that walks the beach and just picks up the garbage that people throw down. And there's tons of garbage on our beaches. So we can all just pitch in and help in that aspect. But also I go into a lot of parks, like national parks and state parks. And not often, but sometimes I do see that people have disrespected and thrown down a candy wrapper or an empty chip bag or whatever. And I do pick it up. And I think the more of us that are conscious about that and don't judge, but just help, it's going to make a big difference on our planet. And Sue, thank you for watering my veggie plants. They doubled in size. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I talked to them every day, Sue. They were just so amazing, those little seedlings, and they did grow a lot while I was there at your house. I love little seedlings. They're fun, aren't they? They're like little babies. And the more you nurture them and talk to them, the more they just perk up and do what they're supposed to do. All right, I'm going to read from Angels in My Pocket. And I haven't seen either of our Jeans, Blue Jean or Auntie Jean. I'm really concerned about Auntie Jean because she hasn't been with us for a bit. And there's half of it. There's our Blue. Good morning, Blue. I bet you're getting excited about that barn and Dolly and the arrival of Dolly and Rain coming, I believe, on Monday. They're going to arrive at your house. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait for the pictures and the videos. All right, so we are on page 37 of Angels in My Pocket. And good morning, Pocket, if you're listening. This one has 5 messages, but they're short messages. Be gentle with yourself and always remember that you are the one who holds the key to change. That's so true. Change is the one given that we can count on in life. It happens with or without our permission, but if we go with the flow and we make intentions, we say our affirmations, we do our part, then that change is going to be for the better. I fully believe that. Check your attitudes daily. It's as important as remembering to put clothes on your body. Choose love, choose fun. I love this one. And wow, how many times do we go through a day without checking our attitude? And then at the end of the day, we wonder what the heck happened to that day. And maybe it wasn't what we wanted it to be. So if we check our attitudes first thing in the morning, if we start saying those affirmations, if we start reminding ourselves, you are worthy, you are enough, then the day is going to turn out a whole lot different. Thank you, Sue. Be gentle with yourself. That was a beautiful, beautiful way to start off these messages. All right, the next one. We are not here to change your minds or take away your free will. We are here simply to assist you. When you are ready for us and ready to see miracles happen in your life, we are standing by, lovingly awaiting your call. Dear ones, only love is real. Only love is real. When we're looking through a different lens and we're seeing anything other than love, when we're seeing the uprisings and the conflicts and the wars, that's the opposite of love. So if we go back into our hearts, set that intention that only love and light can show up in our lives, then it will. We encourage you to stay in the present moment and at the same time acknowledge that there is no guarantee of a next present moment. Well, that's kind of what we were saying earlier, right? There's no guarantee for any of us that there's going to be a tomorrow, that there's going to be the rest of today. When our pirate Rick decided to leave his physical body, he was with us on the morning show. He came in, it was a Sunday, and I remember the card he got, and I call that the Ricky card. And just about every Sunday when we do the afternoon cuppa, that card comes up because I know that Rick is guiding that and wanting somebody to receive that beautiful message that he received, because later that day, he was done and he just went ahead and left us in the physical. He's always here with us in spirit. He guides this show. All right, the last one. We encourage you to pay attention to the lifelines you are using to get guidance in life. Please ensure that those lifelines have your best interest at all times. Only then can you receive the best solution to your question. We always come from the philosophy, if it doesn't feel right to you, then it is not right for you. I'm going to repeat that. We always come from the philosophy, if it doesn't feel right to you, then it is not right for you. This is the true test when we tune into our intuition, when we ask a question about things in our life that's happening. Just go inside, go into that gut, that feeling, that intuition, that clair that we all have access to. And if whatever you're looking at, whatever choice you're making doesn't feel right, you'll know it. And sometimes you'll even hear that inner voice saying, don't do it. This isn't going to end well. This is not for your best and highest good. So we do hear that. And some of us choose to ignore it. I've been guilty of that. I've gone down a path before knowing that it's not going to turn out well. But I did it anyway because I'm stubborn and because I thought I knew better, right? I've got this. I know how to do this. Yeah. So sometimes we just have to do it. Sometimes we just have to test the waters. Sometimes we can see the shark fin and we go out there anyway, right? That shark's not going to eat me. I'm invincible. I'm 6 feet tall and bulletproof. And sometimes we treat our life that way. We go into things, into situations, and make choices that really are not the best choices for us. So tune in. What is it? Abraham says, be tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. So the more that you go into that energy of, is this the best for me? Is this the best choice? Is this the way I should keep on keeping on? Or do I need to make a right-hand turn somewhere? And the more we question and we tune into guidance, then we'll know. We'll hear it, we'll see it, we'll have something that stops us. How many people have we heard about that were supposed to be on a flight, on an airplane, that didn't get on the plane, and then something happened? There's a lot of testimonies of people that happened to. So go into your intuition, follow that guidance, follow your star. And Sue, thank you for typing out some of those messages. They were wonderful messages. And like I said, that was page 37 in Angels in My Pocket. If you don't have this little jewel, it really is a great guidance tool for us. You can open it to any page and it's going to speak to you. It's going to give something to everyone that picks it up. This was divinely led by the angels. They're the ones that said, do this. And it's been such a great tool every year for us to hold in our hands. There's 3 of these little books. So if you're not familiar with them, you can find them on Amazon. And you can go to my website. The very first page on my website has all my books. And you just click on the picture of the book and it will take you right to where you can order it. Oh, thank you, Blue Jean, for, yes, recognizing our Ricky. Yarg, matey. And thank you, Deirdre, for posting our daily prayer. We got lots of missing P's. So let's remember all of our P family as we go into our prayer time today. Prayers for all humans, for Gaia, and all who live on her back, for world peace. We're getting there. Attention to human trafficking. That's also revving up. And support for all families living with addiction. Prayers for our troops, especially those who are deployed right now and separated from their family. Prayers for the United States. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Deirdre. And Blue says, if you don't have the little book, please make an appointment with Pocket Gazerber. She charges hugs and biscuits. Just say her name and Waggle Butt will engage. Absolutely. Pocket is our mascot for Angels in My Pocket. I can't wait to see what next year's is going to be called. It's been an interesting year, hasn't it? And every year the title is different. The books have a different flavor. They all have just this different persona of their own. And I love to just feel into the energy of them and say, okay, which one do I need to open today? Which one's going to speak to me today? All right, so as we go into our prayer time, let's remember, as Sally would remind us, to hold up those who feel like they're alone, not seen, not heard, the forgotten ones, the unloved, for those who are living in fear. There's a lot of people living in fear of another person, or even fear of going outside. And there's a term for it. It's called agoraphobia. And there really are a lot of people who suffer from that right now. Just walking out that door. And sometimes it's a real challenge for people, even to go to the grocery store. And Brandy, if she were here, would remind us to remember those who were touched by suicide or dementia in any of our loved ones. All right, so let's go in. Let's just take a moment. I like to do a moment of silence for peace in our world, for all the things that are happening right now, for world leaders to really pay attention to the need for peace, the need for our people to feel safe and secure. Can we hold just a moment of silence for peace, love, and joy for anyone who's not feeling that in their lives? I just want to be quiet and be still, and I'm going to let the chimes talk to us as we just hold that in our heart, sending out that message of love for peace in our world, peace in our hearts, peace in our homes. Now breathe in. Let's raise our vibration higher, higher and higher yet. And as we rise up, up, up to the great central sun, we carry all of our prayer requests, our long list, anyone that we've mentioned here today that we're not sure what's going on. We lift up especially our Auntie Jean. We lift up Hope Wellington Marshall, Kathleen Caputo, anybody who's been going through physical challenges, Deirdre, Blue Jean. We lift you high and we bring all of our requests and leave them right there. We just trust and believe that the Creator is seeing, hearing, acknowledging every prayer request and answering it for the best and highest good of all. And we thank you, thank you, thank you to God, our Creator. Thank you to our angels who are always there for us. Thank you to our loved ones in spirit. Thank you, Ricky, for always being with us. And we all say, Amen. And Annie Seven joined us. Hello, darling. And thank you for thinking of Lily and Sally. Yes, we lift them up. And now it's time to dance. It's time to lift that vibration even higher, because that's what music does. And especially with our Leo, who sings this song so beautifully for us, and get the pocket gazerber and Raz and Gruffy ready for some waggle butts. Oh, Kathleen, that's so beautiful.
Ready, because today is the perfect day to have a
Here we go. Come on, come on.
It's a beautiful day. If you woke up this morning, might as well be part of it. One on the peace for peace, on our mission for harmony. You and me, mama, be on the lead wherever we may be. We create a portal where we can be together. The heart telephone is always one phone call away. Calling on the guys, the angels, and the masters. Take a deep breath, we're going into a new dimension. Morning Cuppa full of joy, a very day. Just start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning Cuppa full of joy, with all the peas and the pod. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Morning Cuppa full of joy, a very day. Just start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning Cuppa full of joy, with all the peas and the pod. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Give me a cuppa full of joy, give me a cuppa full of, give me a cuppa full of joy, give me a cuppa full of. Cuppa full of joy, full of light, full of love. Bottomless refuse, spilling out from the top. Here, the coffee's always hot and the choice is always yours. The sun is calling out to play, let's put on a show. Today's a new day, we all part of this game. Let's play to win. Love always is the winning team. And you can side with us, there is always more space in the pot. For more love, take a spot and get the day started. Morning Cuppa full of joy, a very day. Just start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning Cuppa full of joy, with all the peas and the pod. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Morning Cuppa full of joy, a very day. Just start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning Cuppa full of joy, with all the peas and the pod. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Give me a cuppa full of joy, give me a cuppa full of, give me a cuppa full of joy, give me a cuppa full of.
All right, it's time to dance. Because there really is no secret. Right, Leo?
There really is no secret. We simply
Accept, align, allow. Triple A, y'all.
full of joy every day. Just start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning Cuppa full of joy, with all the peas and the pod. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste. Morning Cuppa full of joy every day. Just start the day on a high vibe, we call the AAA. Morning Cuppa full of joy, with all the peas and the pod. The daily mantra is thank you, I love you, namaste.
I hope you got your cup filled up with joy this morning. And just a reminder for those of you who astral travel with us, that will be at 4 p.m. Eastern today. Looking forward to it. We've changed it to the second and the fourth Saturdays. So it's not every Saturday now, only 2 times a month. If you'd like to come in and join us, come on in. We have a blast together as we go off and fly off into the astral realm, and then come back together and share with each other. Woo! Thank you, Leo, for that song. Thank you, Peas. I love you so very much. And I hope you have a beautiful Saturday, beautiful weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow afternoon for the afternoon cuppa. Bye for now. I love you.